This is the November 19th meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. The time is 6 o'clock sharp. Before we get started, we've got some housekeeping instructions here. And for our applicants, we ask that all applicants please mute your mics and wait until you're asked to speak on cases. For letting me know that you want to speak, please raise your hand. There's two ways to do that. You can click on the participants button on the bottom of your screen. There's a little deal there. You can click raise your hand, and I'll see that, or just wave at me, and I'll call you out there. But before we start tonight, let's have a roll call of the commissioners that are present. Please respond when I call your name. I'm Edmund Haas, chairman of the commission, and I'm present. Vice Chair Glenn Portman.
Present.
Okay. Commissioner Sue Blankenship.
Present.
Freddie Guerra.
Present.
Ed Maurer.
Present.
Doug Robinson. All right, Doug, you're muted there. We see you.
Sorry. Yes, here.
Okay. And Commissioner Walker. Okay. I don't see him online yet. Okay. Cami, hopefully you got that. So we're all present except Commissioner Walker. Item 2 on the agenda and item 3 as part of our work session. This is where we review the cases. We kind of take these in order of all the cases up front. So with that, I'll turn the work session over to Mary Perone Boswell. Mary, if you could identify staff members that are present and lead the discussion.
Lovely. Welcome, Chairman, Commissioners. This evening we have Kumar Gali, who's our engineer, Matt Steer with Development Services, myself, Senior Planner, and let's see who else we have here. I believe we have Julian, who's going to take care of us this evening. In terms of work session, we have 3 items this evening that we'll be discussing. The first item is something that, Matt, do you want to do it, or do you want me to I'll let Matt give a little preview since this is his case.
Thank you, Mary. The first case is located on the west side of North Dentap, just north of the Sonic drive-up restaurant. What they're proposing to do is add 864 square feet. It's a really simple request. They're just adding on 864 square feet to the south end of the building. They're adding 3 new parking spaces. They're removing some trees, creating landscape islands, and planting some trees. They meet all the ordinance requirements, and they're matching the architecture of the existing structure. So Greg Frank is the architect, and they're doing everything according to code. So any questions on that case?
I am good, Matt.
I did.
Questions on the commission? Doug.
Sorry. Yeah, Doug, I was on mute again. The use, I believe it's going to be 3 tenants from reading the information. Is one of the tenants still going to be the dry cleaner? And
Correct.
Since they are removing a drive-through, how do they propose to drop off?
Okay, so you stole my thunder for the formal presentation, but
well, I'll just be quiet.
No. Well, so what they're doing is that dry cleaners is moving to the middle lease space, and so they no longer need the drive-through, and then this southern end will create a vacant speculative lease space for retail.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
Okay, so item 7. So the next 2 items, so items 7 and 8, go together essentially. One is a site plan, and the second part of it, or item 8, will be the plat that goes along with it. So this is one of probably the last few greenfield developments that we have in Coppell in terms of greenfield development. This is a light industrial piece of property, and what they're proposing is essentially 2 office warehouse buildings. So this is over by Haverty's. So at one point in time, Haverty owned this property for a long period of time. This was sold sometime in 2019, according to the tax records that I looked at. And so this is going to be a 2 office warehouse development. It'll have a common truck courtyard, so the buildings will actually kind of one will be on the north end of the development, the other one will be on the south end of the development, and the truck courtyard will be in between the 2. So the buildings will actually act as screening for the truck courtyard. It's really at the terminus of Exchange Circle, so it's a very short drive up there. And the next, it backs up to the rail line on the north, and then the next street isn't until you hit Freeport Parkway, which is probably a few hundred feet or more east of here. So this is like I said, a greenfield development. It'll have 2 buildings, fire lanes around the entire site. Not a lot of trees on this site, but they are planting a lot of trees on this site. So they're going to have 162 overstory trees that they're planting. So they definitely meet their landscaping requirements. They've got a nice, probably 45-foot width perimeter on the east side. Then a pretty much a similar type of perimeter on the north side, and a nice wide perimeter on the west side of this site. In terms of what the building's going to look like, pretty much like a lot of the light industrial buildings, it'll be a concrete tilt wall building with basically gray in nature, a couple different colors of gray. It'll have the loading docks, like I said, at the back of the buildings, and they'll face each other in a common courtyard. And sorry, I'm working on 2 screens here. We have some renderings for you to look at as well. So we think this is going to be a really nice development. Like I said, this is a straight site plan, so it's not a public hearing or anything. They will need to get tree removal permit for the trees that they are taking out. All the signs will have to comply with city ordinances. They did not supply a sign package. And item 8, which is essentially the last item on the agenda tonight, is Gateway Business Park, the replat. So this is essentially replatting the existing Lot 3 AR so that it will conform to this new development. So basically, they're adding the fire lanes, they're changing a couple easements and adding easements as are required with the development. And like I said, this plat here essentially meets all the requirements. The only condition is that pretty much the standard condition that we add to everything is that there may be additional comments at the time of engineering review or building permit. The applicants are here this evening for this item as well, in case you guys have any questions. But do you have any questions you want to ask me now, or?
So the land uses, Mary, is it warehouse distribution as previously permitted?
Right. So it'll be office warehouse. Majority of the site of the buildings will be warehouse with some office in it. They have extra parking, so it allows them a little bit of flexibility if they want to bump up their office component.
Looks like you got it covered. Any questions of staff by the commission?
if you want, I can kind of go over. We had we had city council earlier this month, so just want to give you a quick recap. We'll do that now, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
from the main agenda, the item 9, sure. Update on council action. Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so we finally took the PD and the ordinance for the Sheridan 4 Points. That went to city council and was approved unanimously. We also took the ordinance for 151 Coffee. That was approved. The plans for 151 Coffee are currently going through engineering and building review. So they're pretty anxious to get started on that. We just got, I think we get emails every couple days seeing where we're at with those plans. So they're really excited to get going. One other thing I want to remind you is that we do have a special P&Z meeting that's going to happen on Monday the 23rd. So thank you all for being available to do that. And one last thing is for P&Z reappointments. So I'm not sure if you've heard from the city secretary's office, but if not, you should be hearing from them shortly as to the next steps, because I think you have to do the take your oaths. So they should be reaching out to you shortly. I'm guessing it'll be virtual since everything is virtual nowadays, but we'll get some confirmation from city secretary's office soon and report back to you on Monday. And next week is Thanksgiving, so just in case we don't see any of you there next on Monday, I think you're all coming Monday, right? Everybody coming? Just in case, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Same to you, Mary, and to all the staff. So with regards to Commissioner Walker, if he is successful in his council bid, is there someone, I presume he reapplied for P&Z, so if he stays with us, he stays with us, but if he goes, and there's another candidate that's been selected as an alternate, I guess, to fill in.
Right. So when we did the interviews a few weeks ago, we obviously had, one opening. Commissioner Robinson will be leaving us at the end of this year. So thank you, Doug, for your service, but hopefully we'll see you in December. So we do have one opening for sure. And then depending on what happens with the runoff on December 8th, we'll determine whether we get a new P&Z member or we get to have Jim hang out with us some more.
Okay. Well, since we have a few minutes, I had heard Commissioner Robinson may be leaving us, so here's a few minutes that he can explain himself for it. If you'd like to share what the big plans are.
All the consternation on the panel, I just couldn't take it anymore, guys. No. I'm kidding. Evidently, to be on the P&Z, you need to either live or work in Coppell. I guess live. And Suzanne and I are currently building a house in Texoma at Rock Creek. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Rock Creek, the development. Up there is a Double Diamond property, but they have clubhouse, golf, marina, pool, tennis, spa, everything within the community. And we've had a lot up there since 2009 and used the facilities. But we're actually, with this COVID and everything, we just pulled the trigger. We're actually building a new house up there, and we will move house to house sometime February, March.
Wow. Sounds exciting.
I've been working from home since 17, so I can work from there just as easy, and it's a good community for us. So, not that this wasn't, but that's going to provide the recreation that we drive to every weekend. So, going to do that. But I asked the question if there was any way, and the answer is no. I have to live in Coppell, and I'm not going to. So.
Yeah,
that is my explanation. So I'm sorry, guys.
Well, thank you for your service over the years. You've done, a tremendous job on the commission. So sad to see you go, but we totally understand. And, we'll just wait for the invitation. We'll have a remote P&Z work session there at your place.
I think retreats are sound business. So yeah, we'll do it.
Sounds like a great thing you've got set up there, and all the best in that. But thank you for your service, most importantly.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, Eddie, this is Ed. Can I ask a quick question to Matt?
Yes, sir.
Matt, are you still on the line? I assume you are.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, awesome. So as it relates to the first case, why did they need a special use permit originally?
For the donut shop,
Yes, I'm just curious.
they had residential adjacency, so it's written in the ordinance that whenever you've got that, then you need a special use permit.
Okay, got it. Cool. Thank you.
Well, if there's any other business to conduct here in our work session, we can do that. Otherwise, we can adjourn to our regular session at 6:30. Thank you, Mary, for presenting the cases. So why don't we go ahead and adjourn the work session, and then we'll reconvene at our regular work session at 6:30. So adjourn now. The time is 6:17. Okay, the time is 6:30, and the Planning and Zoning Commission is now reconvening into regular session. All of the members except for Commissioner Walker are here and present. Item 4 is the citizen's appearance. In lieu of the standard citizen's appearance verbiage, we have in the shelter in place that's in effect, the regular session is closed to in-person attendance. However, if there are any letters or emails from the public that have been submitted to the Coppell Planning Department as part of the standard item on the agenda, those will now be read into record. Mary, did we receive any comments?
No, sir.
Okay. With that, then we'll close the citizen's appearance and move on to item number 5 on the agenda. Our first order of business is the approval of our October 15th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, the meeting minutes. Are there any questions or discussion on the regarding the minutes? If not, is there a motion by the commission?
This is Ed. Just one minor correction. My name is misspelled a few times. It's missing an R, so it's a minor issue. But thought I'd mention that.
We'll get that corrected. I saw Commissioner Portman making a motion there, but you're muted there, Glenn. If you want to unmute and make the motion again, that'd be great.
Okay, I move that the minutes of the meeting October 15, 2020 be approved as written, except after change of Ed Maurer's last name spelling.
We have a motion by Commissioner Portman. Is there a second?
I second.
I'll second.
Sorry, Doug. Freddie got you there. Second by Commissioner Guerra. Cammie, could you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Chairman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Chair Portman.
Aye.
Commissioner Maurer.
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson.
Aye.
Commissioner Guerra.
Aye.
And Commissioner Blankenship.
Aye.
All approved. Motion carries.
Very good. Thank you there, Cammie. Item 6 on the agenda is Dry Clean City. This being a site plan amendment, Dry Clean City Lot 1, Block A, a site plan amendment to revise existing site plan to include an 864 square foot addition to the southern portion of the building on 0.842 acres of property located at 205 North Denton Tap Road at the request of SNESA LLC, being represented by Greg Franca of GPF Architects. Mr. Steer is here to present the staff report. Matt?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good evening. This is a fairly simple site plan amendment request. They're meeting all the ordinance requirements. It is located on the north side, or on the west side of North Denton Tap Road, north of Town Center Drive, just north of the Sonic. In December 2000, City Council approved the site plan and minor plat for a 3,996 square foot building, rounded up to 4,000 square feet on the slide. The dry cleaners with drive-through was approved on the south side as the first tenant. In August 2001, Council approved a special use permit to permit a donut shop in this structure, and this is in the northernmost lease space. Currently, the dry cleaners is being moved into the center lease space to free up the southernmost lease space. The applicant's proposing to eliminate the drive-through previously used for the dry cleaners and, next slide, expand the existing facility by 864 square feet into this area. Next slide. There are 3 new parking spaces proposed. The parking will accommodate the existing uses, the dry cleaners, the restaurant, and 2,210 square feet of speculative retail space. As indicated on the landscape plan, next slide, 5 trees will be removed, and next slide, 2 lace bark elms are proposed to be planted in the 2 new landscape islands, and then 2 in the rear on the western portion of the site, western perimeter. There are, next slide, 38 dwarf Yopon hollies proposed as foundation plantings, and they are meeting the landscaping requirement by providing 36% where 30% is required. Next slide. The proposed materials for the expansion will match the materials of the existing structure, and staff's recommending approval of this request. Next slide. Subject to the following conditions being met. A tree removal permit will be required prior to the start of construction. There will not be any tree mitigation fees required. Detailed engineering review to occur with engineering permit submittal. For the engineering review, we'll need site plan and plans for paving, grading, and erosion control. And then 3, insufficient detail for building review at this time. If approved, a new building permit and architectural review will be required. Thank you, and this concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions, and Greg Franca is the architect of record, and he's in the audience to answer any questions as well.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Matt. Any questions of staff by the commission? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Franca, are you here to present the case, or is there anything you'd like to add to the case?
I'm here, Greg Franca, GPF Architects, and Matt presented everything quite well, and the owner is also online here, but we agree with all the conditions.
Okay, very good. I forgot to ask you for your address for the record there.
413 West Bethel Road, Suite 202, Coppell, Texas.
Very good. Thank you there, Greg. Any questions of the applicant by the commission? Well, it's a toughie. Okay.
Tell you what, this will be for Greg since he took time to show up. The elevation on the front. Well, number one, I just want to make sure there were no doors on the south elevation, which there's no sidewalk, so I doubt there are. Just want to make sure there wasn't the anticipation of anyone driving up and tossing laundry out.
No doors on the south side. Okay,
and then as far as the windows and doors matching spacing, I just noticed that the windows look to be double wide, double width. Just on the elevation, I figure if it's the same material, it probably will not be visible. But I had to look for something. So in our last meetings, we get very contentious. Mm-hmm. Aren't we supposed to?
All right. Thank you there, Doug. Any other questions of the applicant? Very good. Any discussion by the commission? If not, is there a motion by the commission?
I will make a motion.
All righty. Very good.
I'm trying to get back to the number, actually. For Dry Clean City, Lot 1, Block A, site plan amendment, make motion to approve the site plan amendment with the 3 staff recommendations.
Okay, very good. We have a motion by Commissioner Robinson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Blankenship. Cammie, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Chairman Hess,
Aye.
Vice Chair Portman,
Aye.
Commissioner Maurer,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Commissioner Guerra,
Aye.
Commissioner Blankenship.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Cammie. Thank you to the applicant and all the best. Moving on here, item 7 on the agenda is the Gateway Business Park site plan approval. This is the, site plan approval of lot 3A-R2 Block 2, Gateway Business Park, that being a replat, for 2 office warehouse buildings consisting of 176,606 square feet and 139,318 square feet, and associated parking on 16.41 acres of property located on the northeastern terminus of Exchange Circle, south of the Dart Rail Line, at the request of BSR EP3 Exchange Circle, and that being represented by Kimley Horn and Associates. The staff presentation will be Mary Peron Boswell. So, Mary, you have the comment there.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. This item for you this evening is a site plan for 2 office buildings for an office warehouse facility located on northern terminus of Exchange Circle and just west of Freeport Parkway and south of the Dart Railway Line. Next slide. So what you see here is there's fire lanes that surround the entire site and one that goes through the middle of the site. Next. There are 2 buildings proposed. The southern one is the smaller of the 2. It's 139,318 square feet, and the northern building is a little bit larger at 176,606 square feet. Next. So these 2 buildings essentially back up to one another. There's a truck court in the middle of that, where you see in the beige. So essentially the truck docks will face one another. So the buildings themselves will act as a screening device for that truck court area. And there's 381 parking spaces provided, while there's only 355 parking spaces required. So this does allow for a little bit of flexibility in the use of that building. Next slide, please. This is the landscape plan. So this site is pretty much vacant. There was a few trees at the northern portion of the site. These have been mitigated. With this development, they are proposing to plant 162 overstory trees, with over half of them being 4-inch caliper trees, which exceeds the minimum requirements. So they do meet the landscape requirements. They are providing a large 45-foot wide landscape buffer along the eastern perimeter and a large varying landscape buffer along the northern perimeter. And they are exceeding it as well on the western edge. So they have, like I said, a variety of trees: 68 live oaks, 45 cedar elm, 43 shoemark red oaks, and 6 eastern red cedars. Next slide. In terms of the architectural elevations, the buildings are proposed to be about 44 feet in height, constructed of the concrete tilt wall panels with a textured finish and metal accents around the entrances. The architectural accents would be things such as reveals, the windows, and all wall articulations that break up the long wall expanses. As mentioned, the truck court area for each building will face one another, with the building acting as a screen from adjacent properties and the streets. So the dock doors will be in that truck court area. Next slide. This is essentially the material board that they provided. So you see the different concrete panel walls, the metal accents that'll be around the entrances, and the windows. Next slide. This is just a nice rendering, giving you a real feel of what it's going to look like when it's built out. So this is from the southwest, southwest and southeast viewpoints or view corridors. Next slide. So staff is recommending approval of Gateway Business Park Lot 3A-R2 Block 2, the site plan, subject to the following conditions. 1, that a tree removal permit shall be required. 2, that all signs shall comply with city ordinances, since they did not provide us a sign package. And 3, that essentially some of the sheets reflect the updated name of Gateway Business Park. That's the end of my presentation. I'm available for questions, and Kimley Horn is also here for questions.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mary. Any questions of staff by the commission? Okay. I have here in my notes that Daniel Gallagher is here to present on behalf of the applicant.
Okay, I see Daniel in the gallery.
Yes, I see that you're out there, Daniel. You're muted.
I believe he's here to answer questions. Here he comes.
Okay.
Hi, this is Connor Tamlin with Brookfield. I'm the owner of the site and developer.
Okay.
So
Connor, if I can get your address for the record then, please.
Sure, it's 2121 North Pearl Street, Dallas, Texas, 75201.
Okay.
We have Anna Marie Taylor with Kimley Horn here as well.
Okay. Ms. Taylor, if I could get your address for the record too, please.
Yeah, sure thing. It's 13455 Noel Road, Suite 700, Dallas, Texas,
Okay.
75240.
Very good. Thank you. Is there anything that you'd like to add to the application or staff comments on the application?
No, thank you, Mary, for your presentation.
Okay. Are you in agreement with the staff conditions as presented?
Yes.
There's some toughies there. So, okay. Very good. Are there any questions of the commission of the applicant? Since I'll throw one out there. Any timing on when you may be starting construction or targeted completion or anything like that?
We have maybe first quarter next year, pending full design and building permits, and about a 12-month construction process. So late 2021, early 2022.
Okay. Very good. If there are if there's no questions of the applicant by the commission, is there any discussion by the commission? Would there be a motion by the commission?
I will make a motion
All right.
to approve Gateway Business Park Lot 3A-R2 Block 2 site plan subject to staff conditions. 3.
Okay, very good. We have a motion by Commissioner Robinson. Is there a second?
Second.
All righty. Second, Commissioner Blankenship. Cammie, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Chairman Haas,
Aye.
Vice Chair Portman,
Aye.
Commissioner Maurer,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Commissioner Guerra,
Aye.
and Commissioner Blankenship.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Cammie. Item 8 on the agenda is the companion case. This is the Gateway Business Park replat, Lot 3A-R2, Block 2, that being the Gateway Business Park site plan. A replat of the Gateway Business Park, Lot 3A-R, Block 2, to create fire lanes and establish easements for construction of 2 office warehouse buildings on 16.41 acres of property located on the northeastern terminus of Exchange Circle south of the DART rail line at the request of BSREP Exchange Circle and being represented by Kimley Horn and Associates. Mary, staff report?
Yes, sir. So this is actually the companion item to the item we just heard. Next slide, please. Originally, this property was owned by Haverty's, which is located just to the, they do have some buildings just to the west of here. This property was purchased, I believe, last year sometime, and is being replatted to allow for those 2 office warehouse buildings that we were just discussing. So this replat essentially shows the new proposed fire lanes that will accommodate those 2 buildings, as well as addressing any easements that are being added, removed, or relocated on this site. Next slide. The staff is recommending approval of the replat of Gateway Business Park, Lot 3AR-R2, Block 2, subject to the following condition. That there may be additional comments at the time of engineering review and building permit.
Very good. Thank you there, Mary. Any questions of staff by the commission? Okay.
Eddie, Chairman, I have one question.
Go ahead.
Mary, in terms of the approved site plans, it said in the notes that it originally expired in 2000, 2003. What's the normal time frame that they're good for before they expire?
I believe it's 2 years.
Okay, thank you.
It is too.
Any other questions of staff by the commission? Okay. Mr. Tamlin and Ms. Taylor, are you representing the applicant, the application?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add to the staff report regarding this case?
No, not from my
Nope.
end.
Okay. Are there any questions by the commission of the applicant? Ooh-wee. All righty. So thank you very much for your part of the application there. So with that, is there any final discussion by the commission? If not, is there a motion by the commission? Oh, sorry.
Eddie, now this is a, did you mention this is a public hearing?
I don't see that on my deal here.
Okay, it is a replat. So you might open a public hearing.
That's a good catch. I did not see that. Thank you. So we had the staff report. We had the applicant's comments to the application. With this being a public hearing, I apologize I missed that. Are there any comments, or Mary, have any comments been emailed into the planning department for the record?
No, sir. No reply.
Okay. None. Okay. So with that, we'll close the public hearing. Any final comments or discussion by the commission? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion by the commission?
I'll make a motion for the approval of the replat of Gateway Business Park, Lot 3A, R2, Block 2, subject to the following conditions. Staff conditions, sorry.
Very good. Thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Guerra. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll second.
Second, Commissioner Maurer. Cammie, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Chairman Haas,
Aye.
Vice Chair Portman,
Aye.
Commissioner Maurer,
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson,
Aye.
Commissioner Guerra,
Aye.
and Commissioner Blankenship.
Aye.
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
All righty. Thank you there, Cammie. In work session, or pre-session, item 9, we covered those items in the session there. So we'll move on to item 10, adjournments. But prior to adjournment, Doug, will we see you here in December, or is this your last?
No, I'll be December and I'll be Monday.
Okay, very good. All righty. Then with that, we do have a special commission hearing on Monday. So we'll see you all then at that. With that, item 10 on the agenda is adjournment. With there being no other discussion or business, I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. I don't see any comments out there, so I will adjourn the meeting. The time is 6:54. Thank you and have a great evening.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Guys, good night.
Thank you.